When we last left our lovers, Richard Gere was at work.
While he's gone, Julia's been instructed to buy a cocktail dress for dinner that night.
But the uptight clerks hate her on site because she's so skanky, and they won't help her at all.
After dinner, they go back to their suite so Richard can unload a little emotional baggage.
He hints he's pissed at his father. Do you want to talk about it, says Julia. No, says Richard.
Well, you want to fuck my tits then?
Now, as this scene shows, their edges are softening, which means that she is no longer going to sit on his important faxes without wearing a panty liner, and he will no longer ask her to shove a ferret up his back door.
Later, Julia wakes up to find Richard missing in action.
She finds him in the hotel banquet room, and they do a little boot knocking on the piano. Me likey.
Hey, Richard! Once you're inside of her, can you play chopsticks with your balls?
Then, while the title song plays, we experience what I feel is the cinematic equivalent of a sugar rush.
It's time for the Julia tries on clothes montage. For most women, this sequence is like mainlining.
But now men also like this scene, and not just gay men prepping for the bar exam. Straight men like it because he is controlling the purchasing.
Then, Julia stops back by the bitch boutique to get her revenge on the women who wouldn't serve her yesterday.
People go nuts for this moment, but I think the revenge is kind of weak.
The real revenge would have been to try on a bunch of outfits and then go, yeah, no, I don't want any, thanks.
Or just leave skid marks in all the clothes.
Then it's off to the polo match,
Where Julia wears the cupcake-inspiring polka dot outfit that looks good on no one in the planet except Julia Roberts.
When Jason Alexander suggests that Julia might be a corporate spy, Richard tells him, no! She's a hooker.
she's a hooker, standing in front of a boy, leaning against a horse, asking him to love her.
Later, Julia rips Richard a new one, as they say, for telling Jason that she's a hooker.
And he's like, but you are a hooker.
I am so glad he calls her on her shit here.
Totally. I'd be like, I'm sorry, Vivian, did my check bounce?
Somehow they make up. Oh, and just in time for Julia's opera dream date.
It starts with Richard presenting Julia with a $250,000 diamond necklace. Now that's what I'm talking about. By the way, I'm sober in this part, but I'm drunk at the party.
Really drunk.
Then, just as Julia reaches in to take the necklace,
Now tell me this doesn't signify the vagina with teeth, which is exactly what he fears so very much.
Then it's off to San Francisco for a performance of La Traviata.
Why is crying at the opera always a sign that someone has crossed the line and is now sophisticated?
As a season ticket holder to the LA Opera, I can tell you that people actually cry.
I'm sorry, you like opera?
I'm going to the opera next Saturday, as a matter of fact.
I've never been to one opera. I'm afraid I'll like it too much, and the last thing I need is another hobby.
Want to go, bro? I have an extra ticket.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay, well then you know what that means. You need a new outfit.
shopping montage.
This montage has its own song. Are you ready, Boots? Start walking. Here's the montage where I try on clothes. Then I show them off and do a little dance. It's my montage, a total dream come true. Oh my God, you guys, this is like my Xanadu. Don't you wish that it was you? Dickie and Jules continue their dream date back in Los Angeles by playing chess.
I saw one opera and wore flats. I can play chess now.
I want her to grab the king and queen and go, look, they're 69ing.
Or get him to look the other direction and then pull a bishop out of her snatch.
Then they get it on again, only this time she lets him kiss her on the lips. For the very first time.
Yeah.
It's all too much for a what's her name? The drinking girl.
Oh. Hey. Okay.
I could drink and drink and drink. And now I can barely drink.
Well, at least you're not a hooker, standing in front of a boy leaning against a horse, asking him to love you.
Well, I'm close. Did I ever tell you my Mother's Day story? So last Mother's Day, I was leaving to go have brunch with my mom and my sisters.
Please.
And Barry starts trying to get some. No. And I have keys in one hand and my other hand on the doorknob, and I'm like, nuh-uh, no way, I'm leaving. And he's like, oh, come on, babe. I'm like, okay. How much you got?
No.
And he was like, 40 bucks? I'm like, 40 bucks? And he goes, okay, sorry, 60. 60.
So he was totally lowballing you.
My own boyfriend. So I go, put your money on the table. Put the money on the table. And he did. So, you know, I do my thing and brush my teeth, go and buy my mom a new flower arrangement and myself a new purse. Happy Mother's Day.
Such a lady. Let's get this fixed.
The weird thing is, I totally treasure that memory.
Back on screen, Richard tells Julia that he wants to get her off the street.
I mean, he's basically offering to make her the Fresh Princess of Bel-Air.
But Julia stops in the name of love and says, I want the fairy tale.
The very words men hate to hear. Men don't want Rapunzel. Men want a whore, and here she is turning out to be like every other damn woman he's ever met.
Julia passes on the life of luxury, returns to her dumpy apartment, and announces that she's throwing in the G-string.
No more hooking. I'm serious, you guys.
She's not very specific about what she'll do instead, but then she doesn't have to be, because Richard is coming to rescue her.
He climbs up the fire escape, takes her in his arms, and says, so, what happened after he climbed up the tower and rescued her?
She gave him a disease.
No, she rescues him right back.
I want to bring it home by saying this is the epitome of a 90s dysfunctional relationship. They fit together because they're both dysfunctional, and their dysfunctions match even if the wig and the pubes don't. That's my time. Thank you. Good night.
Wait. I still don't understand. Why do women love this movie so much?
Because we all want to be rescued. There. I said it. And it helps that it's Richard Gere because most of us think we can get rich or sexy, but not both in the same package.
Very true. You know, it's either the Anna Nicole Smith geezer who's filthy rich or the hot, uncircumcised Starbucks barista from Slovakia who's here on a student visa and doesn't even have his own damn car. Speaking of which, I gotta run. Bye. What?